Excuse me while I pull up my pants. Y'all know you do it in church too. Come on. I see you because I'm in the back row. Kidding, I'm not looking. Deacon Glover, I think your fan club's bigger than Lee's. Let's hear it for your fan club again. He brought 2 tables with him. Nice work, sir. And just so you know, you weren't really second choice. Father Mike Smith's was a pipe dream, I know. I tried everything, but I prayed a lot. God just didn't see fit. He wanted me to have Deacon Glover, and clearly that was the right choice, right, guys? Clearly. I mean, you're no Sean Carney, but I'm kidding. It's great. It's 8:01. I wasn't supposed to come on until 8:30. Y'all want to get out of here early because you got all your kids and you know, with a babysitter, and you're going to go have some fun after this, right? Yeah. Brooke Glover asked the only favor she wanted for letting Matt speak tonight was to get out of here early. So this is for you. Yeah. And the Witters, wherever they were at. They needed a break too, so. All right. I'm not going to speed through this, and I'll try to take my time. So I'm gonna start by recognizing people first, and I want to make people stand up and be in agony with me while I'm up here. All right. So my team at table 29 and table 20, it's your turn to be embarrassed. Please stand up if you're the real Slim Shady. Keep standing. Keep standing. All right. Now, all my board members that are here tonight, please stand up. All right, everybody, keep standing. And if you're here and you ever served on the board as a volunteer or worked for the center, please also stand up. Wow, look at this. Thank you, guys. You can now sit down. You all helped build this foundation, this legacy of life. You are proof of love in this ministry, in your lives, how you took it on and carried it throughout. Everyone that you know and brought them back to this ministry. Thank you so very much for being part of it and setting the stage for me to have a really easy job. I mean, this is all because of your hard work, so thank you. All right, in case you haven't heard it, this year's banquet theme is proof of love. Did you get confused at what time of year it was when you walked in? I mean, it looks like Valentine's Day in here. Kind of like Cupid threw up on the tables, maybe. By the way, speaking of that, did everybody get their food? Because we rushed through this really fast. No one looks angry. Good. All right. We were rolling so fast. I was like, I didn't even check to make sure everybody ate. How's the cheesecake and the chocolate cake? It looked really good. Let's have a round of applause for dessert. Yes, the real hero here. All right. Well, in case you couldn't tell, theme is proof of love. And we went with a, hard lean into Valentine's Day because, love, hearts, it writes itself. But to be serious, this theme and last year's theme and everything I do, I really try to pray about it a lot. I'm not always very successful in listening or hearing or getting it right, but I do my very best. But this theme was revealed to me during prayer this year. And I just really didn't realize what it was going to mean to me personally, how it was going to transform me. I thought I was done transforming, right? Like, wow, doing this, I'm doing what God wants me to do, I'm transformed. Well, transformation doesn't stop, guys, just so you know, it keeps going. So as I reflected on this theme, how God's proof of love showed up in my life, I also looked at it, how it showed up in our clients' situations and lives, and I realized his love has shown up for me too. And that revelation began healing in me that I would like to share with you tonight. And beware, I promise, I am normal. I'm just not going to sound that way for a few minutes, okay? This year, as you've heard and we've all applauded and we've all been so joyous about, we've had one of the most joyous yet dividing events of our lifetime, the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Let's give it one more round of applause because it deserves it. You've undoubtedly seen the comments on social media and discussion on talk shows about all the ways abortion is justified and necessary. We've heard the arguments for the life of the mother, to ease the pain of the child that will not survive, to protect a woman from a violent partner, to keep the rape victim from having to bear the seed of her abuser. These are all extreme circumstances and thankfully very rare. But behind every justification, there is a person. For every person that is being protected or defended in these arguments, another person is being ignored or exploited. Gee golly. Get to the bottom of the page, I can't see very well. Each time I encountered an argument for abortion, I stroked my scars, ever so gently, remembering the pain I once felt, noticing they didn't hurt anymore. These scars were just part of me now, almost invisible, but still slightly raised, just enough to discern that they were there. It was the realization that I was ready to tell you how I got those scars. The scar that is most familiar to me was made at conception, because I was conceived of incestuous rape. My mother was raped by her stepfather from the age of 8. I was the first child to which she gave birth. I wish the story stopped there, but it didn't. I wish for so many years that I would have been adopted, that someone would have saved me from that situation. But I was raised by my mother and her abuser, my father. My maternal grandmother also lived with us. She was the one that was married to my dad. Until the age of 5, he was just my dad and she was my mom. It was at that tender age, though, that I learned about how my life started and who my father really was. I remember thinking that this is just too horrible of a thing to happen to someone. There must be a reason. Imagine at 5 having to reconcile that kind of information. And my first inclination is, it must be for a reason. It's too bad to just happen to someone. I believe that it was in that moment I first felt God's love. Because who would have had that thought other than God being there to protect my heart? I didn't know it at the time, though. For the remainder of my childhood, I watched my mother, my grandmother, my sister suffer from physical, psychological, and emotional abuse. I myself was subject to this abuse. There wasn't a moment that passed that we didn't fear for our lives. When I say there wasn't a moment, every waking moment of my life was lived in fear. I remember thinking, if I just wasn't alive, my mother would have been able to get out, to be safe. I wished ever so greatly that I hadn't been born. My lack of value was substantiated by my mother when she left me and my sister with our father. She finally escaped, but we were the collateral damage left behind. Years went on. I hadn't heard from my mother, and we later reconnected in high school. And she confirmed what I believed all along. She told me she never wanted me and didn't love me. From that point on, it was confirmed that I was a mistake. When I learned about abortion at the age of 8, because my mother brought with me to get an abortion of one of my siblings, I didn't know what it meant. But as I got older, in those moments when I heard how much she did not love me, I realized that I might have suffered the same fate if I had only been so lucky. As you can see, I did not see much value in my life. This self-loathing led to many poor decisions, including choosing abortion myself. I could give you the long story here, because there's a long story there, but I will simply sum it up with this. I chose abortion because I did not know love. In my 20s, things were pretty bleak, but somehow I kept going, trying to be of value, find my purpose. I believe this feeling of searching for purpose or a reason I was alive was God's love poured into my heart so that I would seek him out. He sought me too, and he showed his love through so many people. In my youth, he gave me my aunt, who guided me to salvation and knowing Jesus. In my teens, he gave me teachers that showed compassion, gave protection, and held me accountable. As an adult, God gave me mentors and friends that showed me how to overcome my circumstances. And finally, he brought me my husband, Doug, who you've seen running around here taking care of me all night, to show me how gentle and pure love should be. And then he gave me my son. He's 7. He's at home right now, hopefully in bed. That showed me that I wasn't going to end up being the mother that I thought I was going to be. I'm a pretty good one, I think. And he loves me a lot, although his dad's his favorite right now. And without him, I don't think I would have ever been able to realize that I was wrong. I was wrong that I wouldn't be a good mother. I was wrong that I would pass on this terrible DNA, this scar, this pain from the past to him. He's pure and innocent and wonderful and has nothing to do with me, but I'm not doing so bad. But see, it's through these relationships ordained by God's providence that my heart longed for love and would be restless until I found God, until I rested in him. Through deep and prayerful consideration of the love of God in my life, I realized my heart, my mind, and my life became transformed. I am now the person before you by the grace and love of God. My life is proof of his love, and the only fitting response to love is love. And what an honor it is to put my love for God into living action at the Arkansas Pregnancy Resource Center. The only way I can do all these things is by letting the Holy Spirit speak through the actions of my life, so that my life is the testimonies others need it to be. I desire to be a channel of grace and testimony to his love. When I became the executive director of the Arkansas Pregnancy Resource Center last year, God gave me the grace and wisdom to understand how each event, sin, and success in my life was for his plan and glory. In my role, I have wonderful team members that work with our clients on a regular basis. And I've found that I have something to contribute to our clients as well. I'm not a nurse. I don't have any medical background. I don't really have good words all the time. But I'm there for hope when they need it. We have several clients considering abortion that had stories messy like mine, and I've been able to speak love and hope into their situation. The things I've walked through help me to understand what our clients need and how to help them to get the love they long for. I'm graced also with the opportunity to help women through our post-abortive care Save One. And God brings them to me just at the right time, too. Recently took on a new client, and we're starting our journey together, and it's beautiful to be able to do that for her. In the upcoming year, we want to walk alongside more clients in different ways. We know that what we've been doing, this interventional care, is wonderful. But as Matt said earlier, and we all know, our clients need more from us. I think about my life and all the times, why didn't somebody know what was going on with me? Why didn't somebody see the state my life was in? Why didn't somebody try to get me out of it? Why didn't somebody help my mother? Because there was no one around. She didn't have a support system. She was isolated on purpose, but if someone had seen some signs or seen her on a regular enough basis to know that something's wrong, I might have been saved out of that situation. I know that wasn't God's plan for me. I wouldn't be here today telling you my story if I hadn't lived what I lived. But if there's any chance that I can help a client or help a woman and her family get out of a situation like that, or a bad situation, because we're with them so much that we know, I want to do that. But more importantly, to help them understand their value so they don't have to rely on people that are going to hurt them. So we want to have a more structured and thought out way to connect with our clients, make sure they get the care they need, ongoing care, not just at the beginning of the pregnancy, but throughout their pregnancy and maybe even the rest of their lives, as much as they need us. I need volunteers for that. People have been coming back to volunteer, and I love seeing you guys. But we need a swarm. Like dinner swarmed out tonight. I need you to swarm my center with your desire and your love to walk alongside women. I need fathers. I need fathers to really be there to intervene with other dads when the decision's being made. Because the dads are the only support system that mom has. And they don't know how to say, I want to help. And if they do know how to say it, they are afraid they can't. And we need other dads to tell them they can and how to say it and give them advice and support too. I think we forget about the dads sometimes. We want to make them the villain. We want to tell them that they're probably abusing her. Not all guys are bad, okay, ladies? There's some good ones in this room tonight. And they can mentor some dads and really help them too. So we really want to work on that piece of it as well. But we're going to continue our interventional care. What we do there, you guys set the foundation for it. We do an amazing job. And we are a real clinic that does real medical things and gives real information, despite what the media would say about us. The intervention care we provide is still needed. Giving our clients more than anyone else, the opposition, the competition can give them, is essential. And we need to continue the good work that you've started here through generosity, through volunteerism. So tonight I ask you to join me in letting your life be proof of God's love. We need your support as donors, volunteers, prayerful intercessors. With your gift tonight, you will help our team continue to share the love of Christ with our clients. Giving them an opportunity to feel love may be for the first time. By volunteering your time, God could use you to be proof of his love in the lives of our clients. By praying for our clients, you can help the Holy Spirit speak into their hearts so that they can feel the longing for God's love. You have a pledge page on the back of your program tonight. See, program on one side, pledge card on the other. Saving some trees, y'all. It's also placed with a handy-dandy envelope, which has a QR code on it if you're into that. You know you are. I'd like for you to consider your pledge tonight. You don't have to do it right now. I'm going to ask you to take some time and pray over it, maybe about 40 minutes. Brooke, you can leave whenever you made your very large donation. Thank you. But I'm going to give you some time to look over this. If you are, and pray about how God wants you to show his love tonight. If you feel called to donate, please complete the form accordingly. There's a one-time gift and a monthly gift spot. I encourage you to fill both of those out. Please know that your best gift will help us to achieve the mission God has called us for. It is our goal to raise $375,000 this evening, or over the life of this campaign, which goes to the end of the year. If every person here tonight prayerfully considered a gift of only $1,000, every person considered a gift of only $1,000, that would fully fund our 2023 budget, which hasn't really been written yet, but I have the number in my mind. And that would fund it. Kidding. I always write my budget. All right. Not everyone is called or capable of giving monetarily. I understand that, and thank you for being here. I love seeing you. I know that it's always uncomfortable for me to ask you for money, and I'm sweet about it. Thanks. I won't come back up here and ask you for any more money in a few minutes after the song. This is it, okay? This is all you get. But if your heart longs to volunteer or be on the prayer chain, please complete the top portion of the pledge form and put volunteer or pray by your name and turn it into one of the ushers when we come around, so I know to call you. There are some QR codes that'll be running on the screens, but it's a little far away for some of you. So when you are finished with the pledge, please place it in the envelope. Make sure you place it in the envelope so your information is just not hanging around on the table, but also we know to pick it up because it looks like a program. There's a downfall of the Sandy Dandy thing I did. We'll pick them all up at the end of the night, don't worry, but place it in the envelope will help us. You will see all around you the Proof of Love logo created especially by Abigail, our clinical director. Wasn't she great? Let's give her a round of applause. I want to give you a little story about it, since I got a lot of time. Sorry, Brooke. We got a lot of time. So last year at 5 o'clock p.m., banquet night, I get a phone call. And it comes through my work number. And I'm like, ain't nobody that needs to get a hold of me tonight calling me on my work number. I'll put that to voicemail. Well, then about midnight after the banquet, and I was still up, guys, I was scrolling through my emails, and I saw this voicemail notification pop up on my email. And I was like, oh, I'll listen to that. It was Abigail. She was calling about the part-time nurse position I had. I was like, yes, that Facebook thing worked. I call her like a next day or maybe a week. I don't know how long it took me to call her. Finally remembered. I called her. I was so excited. And she's like, well, I'm not really interested in part-time work. And I'm like, oh, well, I got this other thing. I said, but God told me you're supposed to work for me. I was like, I know God sent you to me. And she's like, whoa. Coming on strong, lady. She didn't say that. She told me that later, but I could tell in her voice. And she was like, this lady's nuts. She looks normal, but she sounds crazy. So I let it lie. I emailed her some stuff. But then like 2 weeks later, Donna's like, hey, by the way, I'm quitting. So it didn't end up like, it did not happen like that. It was beautiful and providential and all this stuff. But she was leaving. I was like, oh, hey, Abigail, are you still interested in working here? Here's another job to consider, because I sent her like 3 different ones. And then she's like, maybe. And then I hired her like 2 weeks later. So, like I said, God wanted you to be here, Abigail. And it's clear that he gave you some skills that I do not have. That speech was on fire. But this is the thing. Like, he's going to do some crazy things tonight. I know it. God does amazing things. And if we would just stop and look for it, it's so beautiful. The image of the heartbeat in this year's logo was very special to me. And Abigail and I sat down. I was like, I really need this logo. You know, this is what I'm thinking. And we put it together. Because while discerning the theme during prayer, I was given the understanding that God gave us a heart so he could dwell there. Father Mike Schmitz gave me that. Sorry, Matt. I called Matt to confirm it. I was like, is that true what Father Mike Schmitz said? Is that legit? Is it heresy? Can I say that? I'm too new Catholic. I say things that are wrong all the time. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, Bishop. I'll do my best. But how beautiful it is that with every heartbeat, God is with us. Just put your hand on your heart for just a second. Feel him. He's in there. He's beating along with us, hanging out tonight, loving us, wanting us to do what he asks of us, which is love each other. Every heartbeat, we have proof of his love. With every future heartbeat, we have an opportunity to be proof of his love. He doesn't just give us another heartbeat tomorrow for fun. He gives it to us to love others and to love us. Together we protect and advocate for the little heartbeats for this reason. Please join me in being proof of love tonight. I'm going to invite Father Harvey up to stage to pray a blessing over your offering tonight. And that's the last you're going to hear from me. That's it. And then Susa and Steve will lead us in worship music to close out the evening. Who likes worship music? Hang around for that, because Susa, she's amazing. And I just mispronounced her name, and I never mispronounce your name. Call it nerves. But once you have completed your pledge and given it to an usher, please enjoy the music and the rest of your night away from your children. Because you love them, but you need a night out. Thank you guys so much.